Hi guys, my name is Kassim, and in today's video I am gonna convince you why you should not sell your camera and buy a new one. So with the recent drops of the new cameras, a lot of people think to themselves, if I want to be in the game, I should upgrade my gear. Well, technically it's true. If you're a professional, it is better for you to have better gear, better equipment. But if you're just starting out and you have a camera and then you think, it's not good enough, maybe I should switch, then you probably need this video. Let's get into this. In today's video, I compared two cameras. It's the Sony a7 III camera I'm filming on right now and this little beast. It's a Canon EOS 650D. It's a budget camera, it's not that expensive, but I just want to show you that even with a camera like this, you can achieve a beautiful and aesthetic look. Most of the times when people are starting out, they don't know the basics. They don't know what the white balance is, they don't know what shutter speed is, they don't know what proper aperture is, proper lighting, and so on and so on. In the first sequence, I'm gonna show you a part filmed with this Sony a7 III camera. So in this fragment you see that the Sony a7 III was overblown, the white balance was off, the movement did not look as good as it should be because my shutter speed was not the double of my frame rate. So there are a couple of lessons that you have to take on from this one. Now we're gonna switch to the Canon EOS 650D, but with the proper lighting, with the proper exposure, with the proper white balance, and you will see a huge difference between a 2K camera and a budget camera. So now we switched to the Canon EOS 650D, and as you can see there is a huge difference between those, even though this is a budget camera and the previous one is a $2,000 camera. Now what did we do actually? So the first thing that we did is setting up the right white balance. White balance is really important when it comes down to video. For videographers, it is really a no-brainer. So get your white balance first, take a white piece of paper, and then you can set up your white balance. The second thing that we did with this one is get the proper exposure. As we know, there is something, it is aperture, so you gotta control that, and the lower your aperture, the more light you let in and the more filmic look you get the bokeh, you get everything. And the ISO is your light sensitivity. If you have a light, then ISO will find that light and work with it. And then we go to the third thing, and it's of course the lighting. As you can see right back behind me, that's just my window, and I'm using my window to create a backlight. Now I don't possess a lot of the lights at the moment, I just have one light and I use it as my key light in this video. So as you can see, that's me, and what happens if I turn it off? Yeah. So get yourself a key light and you're good to go. Now to create more depth into your videos, you also want to use aperture lights or some small key lights right behind you. You can see how it can look if I turn it off. Yeah, now my video just looks very simple, very flat looking, and not that cinematic. So there are three things that you can nail today. It is your white balance, your proper exposure, your lighting, and you're good to go. And I think whichever camera do you have, it doesn't matter, because you can get a good look from whatever camera that you have, but you gotta nail the basics. Those basics are very important. Nail the basics, and then when you mastered your camera, you can switch to the next one. So let's go back to the a7 III. Now, I don't want to sound like this guy who says gear does not matter while having a huge setup, but this video was made for people who are just starting out, and most of the times people do not master their first camera before upgrading, and it's a huge mistake. I cannot stress it enough, because if you didn't master your previous camera and you will buy an expensive camera and you will fail again because you don't know those basics, you don't know how to nail the exposure, lighting, white balance, this will affect your creative process, it will affect your confidence, it will affect your creative thinking. That's why I'm warning you, master your first camera and upgrade whenever you feel that you're ready to upgrade. So guys, thank you for being here, and I genuinely hope that I could teach you something new today and maybe prevent you from making that one huge mistake that would cost you a lot of money. Now let me know in the comments down below which camera do you have and what your thoughts is on this camera. Do not forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel and kick that like button if you learned something new. And I will see you in the next video.